Hi friends, welcome to my channel. My name is Juan. I'm a yarn addict, hence the name Juan the Yarn Addict, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys for stopping by to check out my video today. This is a yarn and crochet channel where we talk about all things yarn and all things crochet, so if that interests you, please sit back and enjoy this video, because today, my friends, I offer session number 33 of WIPn IT with Juan. My friends, today's session is all about the OGOs. So Big Lots recently had a sale. It was buy one, get one half off with a 20% off coupon, and it made this $1.60 before tax, which is absolutely amazing because the starting price of this OGO is $3.99. So my local Big Lots only had 7, so it was an odd number. Another yarn they had on sale that particular time was Caron 1 pound. So I wound up getting another Caron 1 pound to kind of offset the sale. And so I have these OGOs that I need to do something with, and I thought, well, let's just make a WIPn IT with Juan session with it. I'm going to do a corner to corner with these. So I will work this up until I have 3.5 completed, 3.5 OGOs done, and then I will start decreasing, and that will be the end of that. Now, I know for sure I'm not going to be able to get this entire thing done in one session, but I will have a starting point, and then perhaps in other sessions I may pull it back and we'll continue on with our journey with this particular OGO. So, if you're not familiar with what WIPn IT with Juan is, it's literally a crochet session where I become your crochet buddy for about 45 minutes to an hour. I sit here, I gab at the gums, I talk about all the things while we just enjoy each other's company. So if that is of interest to you, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and then of course, turn those notifications on so you know when I post. Okay? So, I'm going to rearrange the camera so you can see me crochet while I talk, and I'll be right back. Okay friends, so I am back. Before we get into the actual WIPn IT with Juan session, I have to share my t-shirt with you. So I got this from Becky. She's a dear friend of mine, and she made me a t-shirt with all the things that I say. So the Juanisms. It says, it's all the things, and then it has, I love that for me. And then it has in yellow here, it's so nice that I bought it twice. And then in red, it has, are you kidding me right now? These are all the things that I say, and I crack up every time I read it. It's so good, it's on point, it's me. So anyway, this OGO here, I have 7 of them, as I mentioned, and they suggest an 8mm crochet hook, so that's what I have here. It's 100% polyester. So there's that. And yeah, so cool. And so I already cracked one open. There's like a plastic piece that connects it. So you just cut the plastic piece and then the one side just starts to unwind. And yeah, so we're starting with the gray, just like that. Let me get in position. We have to just get into our comfortable positions, right? We can't just sit somewhere and start crocheting. We have to be comfortable when we do this. So anyway, for me, this is how I like to just sit and relax. I lean back, I have my coffee here, Dunkin' Donuts, hazelnut, with the caramel macchiato creamer. As always, I'm so predictable. It's fine, I love that for me. Are you a coffee drinker? If not, are you a tea drinker? I imagine that everyone drinks coffee or tea. I mean, I'm sure there are people out there that really don't care for either one, but I'd like to think that someone out there chooses one or the other. So anyway, let me just go ahead and start this. Let's get this started. So this corner to corner starts out with 6 chains. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then go into the 3rd chain. I'm in tutorial mode for myself. Just give me 1 second to get this together, and then we will get everything situated. In the meantime, feel free to set yourself up, get your yarns, get yourself something to drink, maybe something to snack on. Maybe turn the volume up if you're using me for background noise. What do you guys use this session for? Do you crochet with me? Do you have me on as background noise while you clean the house, do the laundry and all the things? 5 and 6. I always wondered that. I know for me, like when I sit down and watch other content creators that have WIPn IT sessions, I literally pull out a WIP and I start crocheting. And I just focus on my project and I listen And then every now and then when they go to show something, I'll stop and I'll look. And I'll be like, interesting. And then I'll come back. I'll just come back to my project, and every time they suggest I look up, I just look up and look. Maybe you guys do the same thing. I don't know. So I ask. At any rate, this is coming together quite nicely and very quickly. That's one of the reasons why I chose to do an Ogo project, because it works up fast, you know? And in my opinion, I mean, outside of like amigurumis, I mean, the possibilities, I mean, technically could be endless, but my personal opinion, there's only so many things that you can do with a brunette blanket Ogo, you know? So, amigurumis, blankets. Could you make wearables with this? Maybe. I mean, you could make anything you want. I mean, I guess the possibilities are endless, you know? But for me, I'm like, I don't know if I would like to do certain things. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. See, I need to pay attention. I need to pay attention. Okay. Let's go into the third chain. Once I get this corner started, I'm going to go to town, and I'm just going to go a mile a second. It's 1, 2, and 3. Okay. Good. Now let me flip this over. Okay. So here we are. All right. So anyway, before this WIPn IT with Juan session, I was in the other room, not the squirrel's nest. I was in another room in the house. Was it the makes room? I forget where I was. I was in another room in the house, and I was knitting. And I finally got the Linus shawl pattern situated. If you don't know this about me, I have been practicing my knitting behind the scenes, and I'm getting better. So I know how to do a knit front back, and you know, the knit stitch, the purl, the stockinette. I know how to cast on, but I've never completed a project. So I had a friend of mine, Penn. She got on camera with me, and side by side she sat with me to make sure like I knew how to do certain stitches. And so I got everything except for the knit front back, right? And I just fought with it and fought with it. For some reason I just could not grasp the concept that picking up a stitch in knitting when you're doing a knit front back goes the other way. It just did not compute. And I think it was yesterday, actually, literally just yesterday, I'm sitting there during another session that I pre-recorded, and I said, oh my goodness, I got it. I got this. And then I just couldn't stop. So I was in the other room knitting, and I said to myself, I said, should I do today's session with the Linus shawl? And I said, no, let me just get a little further, you know? I don't want to put the cart before the horse and get all excited then and find out, you know what, Juan, you didn't do that right. 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I will tell you that these brunette blanket Ogos aren't my favorite colors. I mean, I do like the gray. The yellow, well, the two yellows, right? There's one that's really bright, and then there's one that's muted. I mean, there could have been worse colors. So, and for $1.60, yes, you bet your bippy, I'm definitely getting it for $1.60. Oh, that rhymes. My grandmother used to say that. You bet your bippy. Anyway, so yeah, I figured, why not? $1.60, you can't beat that. You know, and I would imagine that I'll go through these pretty quickly. So one of the ideas I had for this was I was going to just go through 3 until, go through 3 and then start my decreases on the 4th Ogo. So 1, 2, 3 to increase, 4, 5, and 6 to decrease, and then use the final Ogo for a border. And just keep going around until I run out of yarn. Which technically is not a bad idea. I may actually do that, because these squares are working up very quickly. That's another thing that I really do enjoy I do enjoy the thick stitches of Bernat blanket in general. You know, it's the polyester for me. You know, depending on the hook that I'm using, it's very catchy, if that makes any sense. It doesn't glide as smoothly as I would like it to. Again, it's my fault. I'm not choosing the right hook. But for me, it's convenience in terms of like the grip of my hook and things based on what I have. So I am super okay with just dealing with, you know, the lack of ease when it comes to sliding up and down this hook here. So anyway, that's fine. And I would imagine that this will not take me long if I can just manage to have a rhythm and stick to it. One of the things about this is I just have to keep doing one of these situations. Okay. Just so that I continuously have yarn available to crochet with. So, my friends, what exactly are you guys hooking on? If you're knitting, what are you knitting on? I'm definitely curious. A lot of the inspiration that you guys see on my channel comes from the viewers and the things that you guys show. So, I have a Facebook group. It's called JuanTheYarnAddict and Friends. And as of the date of this video, I believe we are 3,500 strong. And it's a group where we share our makes. We share our whips. We talk about all things yarn and crochet and knitting, whatever discipline of the fiber arts that you're into, we talk about it. And yeah, so if you're interested in sharing your makes with all of us, feel free to join. There are just a few questions that you have to answer before joining. The admins review the questions and then they will let you in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's a very positive and supportive group of people. And yeah, it's great. Feel free to check that out. But anyway, the reason why I'm telling you about that is because whatever you're working on right now, feel free to share in the group. We love to look at all the things, and that's, like I said, that's where I get my inspiration from. I'm like, oh, look at that shawl. I love the color. So I will go to the store, find that color, and then let that color speak to me and tell me what it wants to be. So yeah, a lot of times when I look at yarns, I don't really have a plan for it until it tells me what it wants to be. And I know that sounds funny, but yeah, if you know, you know. You can see a yarn and be like, that would look great as a blanket. Or that would look great as a raglan, or a dishcloth, or a curtain, or a summer wrap. I mean, a lot of yarns speak to us, and the yarns tell us what it wants to be. And sometimes it doesn't, and then we force it. We force it to be something that it doesn't want to be, and then it becomes an unfinished object, a UFO that sits in a bin for months on end. And I promise you, friends, I do have a few of those. That's definitely going to be a video where I pull my UFOs from the closet and make a decision. Do we frog it and start over with the same project? Do we frog it and do something different? Do we donate it? Or do we cut it up and use it as fluff for Ammies? So, we shall see. We will discuss all the things. So I will tell you, friends, as of late, until I get my new camera equipment set up, I will actually have to pause every now and then just to make sure that the data saves. I did make the purchase. I went ahead and got a brand new camera and all sorts of equipment to upgrade my situation here. Number one, I need to learn how to use it. And number two, I need an easy transition. So I would like it so that one day you see me like this, and then the next day, you know, everything is just another day at the office. You know, so it's going to take me time to get there, but I will definitely get there. So let me just do this one stitch here, and then I'm going to place this on a brief pause, and I'll be right back. Okay. Okay, just like that, we're back. And some more of this gray. I can't wait to get to the yellows. It's such a bright and fun color, you know? Love that. And at first glance, friends, this does not look like there's a lot of yarn on it, but surprisingly enough, there's a lot of yarn on here. It's 220 yards. It's the same size as your standard Bernat blanket skein, but the shape is really like deceiving. You think that there's not as much yarn on it, but it's, yeah, it's impressive. And yeah, I'm surprised that it didn't take off like I thought it was going to. You know, I believe a lot of it is discontinued, if not completely discontinued. I'm not exactly sure. I don't follow the Ogo situation, but I don't really see it in the big box stores, and it might be available on websites here and there, so I can't really speak to it completely. But what I will tell you is that deals and steals are all over the place with these Ogos. So, like I mentioned, Big Lots had these, you know, on their sale. Buy one, get one half off, 20% off coupon, $1.60 before tax, and all the things. But also, too, Joann's had them on clearance. I think even Yarnspirations had them on clearance, certain colorways and things. So, yeah. I know that Hirschner's had them on clearance, Mary Maxim had them on clearance. So, maybe they are a discontinued yarn, or maybe they're just going to eventually come out with new colorways. I have no idea. Again, I don't really follow the situation, but when I see a deal and a steal, I have to get it. So, yeah, there's that. Oh my. So, I have many WIPs on the hook, as I mentioned before. So I have to figure out a way to catch up, if that makes any sense. Because, as you see, I just started yet another project, you know. So I have to be mindful of how many I actually start, and I need to figure out solutions for completing the ones that I've started. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I have a project. It's the all-in-one granny, and I showed, you know, my progress and things. I thought I was finished. I put it all together. It wasn't the right height for me, and so I went and got another skein. And so what I thought was a finished object is now a WIP. And so I find myself in those situations. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. Hold on one second. Okay. So I have, let's see. I have the 4/4 panel blanket with the scrap yarn from the Scrap Cakes. I have my all-in-one granny that I need to reconstruct. The squares are almost done. I needed to make another skein's worth. So I have a few squares left of that, and then I have to put it all back together again. So that's 2. I have my raglan, my red raglan, that's 3. I have my Noro raglan, that's 4, which, by the way, I said yesterday in my podcast that I have to frog it all the way back to the beginning and run this Merino Deluxe yarn with it to give it like a marled look. Let me set it down here so I don't forget. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Quarter panel, Noro, red raglan, the Bernat corner to corner, that's 4, all-in-one granny, that's 5. I have my red birthday blanket, that's 6. I have Party Time moss stitch in the round, that's 7. I know I have more than that, for sure. I have to write all of this down. I need to write it down so I can keep track. I have my knitted project, which is my Linus shawl, that's 8. I have my textured cabin throw, just a few rows left of that, that's 9. I'm looking under the table here. I have my friendship sweater, that's 10. I have my Sophie's Universe, That's 11. I have my Moroccan tiles blanket. That's 12. Yeah, I have a lot of WIPs. But my Moroccan tiles I'm doing off the channel. That's literally just for my personal wind down space and things. I show it every now and then to just show my progress, but I don't really count it as a project for the channel. So, let me get that. Okay. I need more yarn all of a sudden. Okay. Okay, and this is where I'm at so far. Look at that. It's so nice. It's very squishy. Anyway, I have lots of things on the hook, and I don't think I'm going to stop. I need to put all the things on the hook, and then do like an episode where I do like WIP updates, and I'll bring them all on and we'll talk about them, and I'm going to use stitch markers to kind of mark where I'm at and then continuously work on them and show updates until they're done. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Oh, and I completely forgot about the shawls that I have created. So, where's the one shawl here? This shawl here, I've shown on my recent podcast episode. It's right here. It's so pretty. So I've shown this, and this is the shawl without a name. And I have other ones behind the scenes that are in prototype phase. So when I create a design, I use the Aran colored yarn, which is like down here on the bottom cubby there. I use that, or I use Caron 1 pound in off-white, just so that I can see all the stitches and things as I'm writing the pattern. And once I finish my design and I'm good with it, stitch counts and everything are exactly where they should be, everything falls into place, I then send the pattern to the testers. And the testers for this particular pattern are literally about finished, so that's why I showed it. And now I am choosing a yarn for the finished project for me. So the decision has been made. I am going to be using Caron Cloud Cakes in Royal colorway. So it's a bit of a difference because I used a 7mm hook with that Caron 1 pound in the off-white. This here suggests a 4.5mm crochet hook for this yarn. I'm obviously hooking up. There's no way I'm going to use that small hook for this drapey pattern. It's supposed to be drapey. So I may go up to a 5.5, maybe even a 6. We shall see, because the recommendation for this yarn was a 5.5, and I went up to a 7. So this is a 4.5, so I may go up to a 6, a J hook. So I'm going to start that either tonight or tomorrow, but I can't wait for that to be finished so that I can roll that out, do the tutorial, and get all of that done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So I have another shawl that I'm doing. It's an intermediate pattern. Every row is different, and I think I'm in row 45 or 46, and that particular pattern is going to run to about 60 to 70 rows. And it's a circular shawl, so that is really, really nice. I can't wait to show you guys. Anyway, my point is that I have these shawls as WIPs as well. So, yeah, I have to be mindful. Maybe if I write them down, I can prioritize the WIPs and figure out like which ones can wait, which ones need to be done now, and allow myself to continuously create and do all the things. Because it can get overwhelming. Like if you have a lot of WIPs on your hook and they just sit, sometimes you forget that you even have them, you know, especially if you have lots of WIPs like me, you know, you have to keep track of all the things. All right, let me go ahead and finish this stitch right here, and then I will pause us and be right back. Okay, so I am back. So I wanted to ask you guys, how many whips do you think is acceptable? Like, does it matter how many whips you have? Me personally, I, for the longest time, limited myself to just 12 whips. And if I had more than that, I was not allowed to start another project until I had one of my whips completed. But something happened. I learned how to knit. And so with that came the acceptance of, okay, well, since you know how to knit, you're going to have knit whips. You're going to need to be able to have knit whips and not let that interfere with your crochet journey. So I allowed myself to go past the 12, but what happened was my crochet whips decided to take over the space of my knit whips. So I only have one knit whip, and it's my Lina shawl that I'm using with bitty stripes in Sunset with a 5.5mm circular needle, 40-inch. But I'm going to convert the 40-inch circular to a 60-inch once it gets big enough. So there is that. And I shouldn't have allowed myself to do that, but here we are. I'm literally creating another whip right now as we speak. I mean, it is what it is, friends. I've accepted the fact that, here we are just doing all of the things. And who knows? I mean, there may come a time where I finish all of my whips and I can say, my plate is clean. It's very unlikely, though. I mean, when you have a bunch of people constantly showing you their works in progress and their finished objects and things, it really sparks, it sparks the Crojo, you know? You just have to get things on the hook and be inspired and just have fun with the art of crochet and even knitting as of late. I have to figure out a new intro for my channel because I am a knitter. I knit every day. I've been practicing and practicing, and I may not necessarily bring knitting on every single day, but there's a bunch of knitters that watch me, and they ask me all the time. They're like, hey Juan, how's your knitting going? What are on the needles? And so I do have to include some of that on the channel. It's all the things. So my intro goes, all things yarn and crochet is what I say, So I have to figure out how to include the knitting or just take all of that out and just say all things yarn, but it doesn't really have the vibe to it that I want, So I have to think about word choice and flow and all the things. All the things. Anyway, I crack myself up sometimes. I'm like, Juan, that was a little too much with all the things. But I'm like, nope. It's all the things, all the things, all the things. Yes, I have a lot of my members saying it too. I love it. They tell me about it. They're like, Juan, you have me saying it now. I say it all the time. It's all the things. See, the whole point of it is it describes a lot of things all at once. So why go into detail and talk about this, that, these, and those when you can just say all the things and just move on with your conversation, I don't own the phrase. Say it. I think it's amazing, Enjoy it. It's all the things. And then save your breath, your energy for words that, you need to describe and that you need to go into detail about. So, yeah, like the yarn, it's all the things. And then we just move on. Can you imagine me doing a yarn review and then just saying, like, it's all the things. That's it. This is yellow. It's, Red Heart Super Saver. It's all the things. Nothing about the weight or the yardage or the ounces. It's literally, this is yellow, Red Heart Super Saver. It's all the things. Next. Oh, that's hilarious. I love that. Anyway, so yeah, my goal here is literally to just enjoy all of the things, I used to get so hung up on things, and as of late, I am literally just enjoying literally all the things. I'm not letting anything get to me like I used to, because what for, you know? Stay positive, enjoy life, enjoy what it is that we do. You know, it's very easy to be happy and to stay positive. I think it takes more energy to not be happy and to not enjoy the things that can be enjoyable. So I try to tell people all the time, you know, just stay positive. If there's negativity around you, if you hear negativity with your name in those conversations or your name insinuated in those conversations, pay it no energy, you know? Enjoy what it is that you do, whether it's crochet, knitting. It doesn't even have to be about knitting or crochet. It could be about anything in life. You know, just enjoy life, you know? And so that's me as of late. I'm literally just like, I don't have energy for that. I'm going to stay happy. I'm going to enjoy what it is that we do here on the channel with yarn and crochet and knitting and all the things. And then when I'm at work, I'm like the same way. I mean, work is work, you know, and it can be very, very overwhelming, that negative energy. You know, I deal with the public every single day, you know, literally, whether it's on this channel or, you know, in my pharmacy. I deal with the public. And I hate saying deal, but you don't know what you're coming across when you're approaching a person. So, yes, you know, I engage with the public, but you never know. And so when you have bad energy in front of you, you have a choice. You feed into it or you block it. And for me, I used to feed into it every time. And I mean, I've been into pharmacy for 19 years in October. And I'll tell you, I've learned a lot along the way. But the one thing that I recently learned is that it takes more energy to be negative than it does to be positive. And so I just put this out there into the universe. Should you receive it? By all means, receive it. Don't waste your energy on anything negative. Use your energy for things that are positive, you know? And as I mentioned a few moments ago, if you hear your name in anything negative, ignore it. It's not worth the energy, you know? You come out stronger by being able to persevere, you know? If you hear about conversations where they're insinuating your name, maybe not even necessarily saying your name, but they're insinuating it, same thing. Pay it no energy, pay it nothing, actually. Because, you know, that negativity isn't worth your time, it's not worth your energy. They're wasting their time and their energy by doing it, you know, and maybe by showing that resistance, they'll say, well, you know what, maybe I did waste a bunch of that negative, you know, a bunch of that energy on things that are negative. There's no time for that, you know. Anyway, back to the Ogos. I do have another colorway of the Ogos. It's blue. It's 3 shades blue, but I only have one. So I can't make anything with that, right? Not anything like this. So that's okay. We're just going to continue on with the grays and the yellows. So if you only had one Ogo, what would you make with it? Like, it's 100% polyester. It is machine washable and dryable, isn't it? Yeah, machine washable and dryable, which is amazing. It's not enough for a Boggy Creek blanket that I know of. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see. If I do a square, it's got to be 40 inches by 40 inches. That's like the sweet spot of the square. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then let's go back. 1, 2, and 3. And let's just do 3 doubles. 1, 2, and 3. There we go. And let's flip, and let me pause and come back. Okay, just like that, we're back. Okay, so to be honest, I want the gray to be done already. I mean, we're almost there. Oh, look, I see it. I see it. I think we're caught up on the plastic there. That's okay. Look, we're coming to the end of the gray, and there we are. Love that. Okay. Okay. Look at that already. Loving it. Anyway, I don't know why I got into that conversation about positive energy and negative energy and, you know, the public and things. I guess the message that I want to send out today is to just stay positive, you know? Stay positive. Life is great if you make it great, you know? So, anyway, I think that this WIPn IT with Juan session for me is just one where I think like I woke up this morning with a very positive outlook on life. And I know that there's a lot of negativity in the world, but it's up to us what we do with all of that. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. You know, when you wake up in the morning, depending on when you're seeing this, you may be seeing this late at night. But when you wake up next, you know, say to yourself, you know, I have a choice here. I can make my day the best I can make it, or I can just not allow it to be the best it can be. It's completely up to you. But my suggestion is make things as positive as you can make it, and you'll notice that you'll have so much more energy and all the things, you know? I, by no means, am any kind of an expert, but if there's a way that I can spread positivity, I want to do that. So, there you have it. Anyway, I can't wait for this gray to be done. It's, you know what, I think this is just enough of one color. You know, you work it up, and then right before it's time to change, you're like, okay, I had enough of this color. And then before you know it, we have a new color. So that is great. I love that for us. Anyway, I am now thinking that perhaps I could have hooked up to maybe a 9mm. I don't know. I think the recommended hook size is good. Don't get me wrong. I think this is nice. There's no holes to it. There's a nice pattern to it. Love that. But I'm thinking, like, in terms of size, since I'm only going to be using 3 ogos, would it have been smarter if I had hooked up a size to allow the stitches to be larger? I don't know. I have no idea. But that's okay. We're elbows deep into it. We're going to forge the path forward and just continue on with all the things. So, I wonder how many whips go off as unfinished objects. Like, for me, in my crochet journey in the last year, I've had probably 4 projects that I decided to write off and not finish at all whatsoever. And one of them I cut up as fluff for Ammies. One of them I frogged completely back to its original state. One I've given away for someone else to complete. And then one is literally sitting in the bin waiting for a decision to be made. Because it's one of those projects where it's like, if you frog it, you're like, oh my goodness, all that work that I put into that project now goes to waste. So I leave it as is. I don't know, you know? But yeah, I have 4. 4, 5, 6. How many do you guys have? Do you guys have a lot? Hopefully you guys have you know, a decent amount that you can manage, you know. I know for me, I'm almost at that point where I can't manage my whips. I mean, that's why I have to write them down. Like if I write them down, I think we're going to be good. You know, we shall see. Anyway, come on, Gray. Come on, you can do it. And I thought that the sliding situation would be better by now. Maybe once I get to the yellow, you know? There's a little bit of resistance. I may actually try a metal number 8. Or I could try a clover number 8, which is a resin. Now, let me just stick with this. I do like how big the handle is. But I do like the clover hook itself. It's really nice. Who am I kidding? I love all the things, you know? I could work with any hook and just say, I love it. It's great. You know? Actually, no, I can't. There are certain hooks that I'm not really too keen on. These newer boy hooks, the ones that you can get at Walmart, I'm not a fan. The older boy hooks, however, the ones that you could have gotten from Woolworths or Kmart, when that was a thing back in the day, and other places. Now, those hooks, those boy hooks, you know, the quality is there. I do enjoy working with those. So that is nice. But these newer ones I'm not too keen on. And yeah, other than that, I mean, I'm pretty much an open book when it comes to the hooks. What's your favorite hook? I think I asked that on the YouTube streets. I posted a poll. I think it ended. I posted a poll asking, like, to choose which one is your favorite. And as it turned out, a lot of the comments were of the one that I did not include in the poll because it ran out of room. So there's that. And it was the clover, I believe. The Clover Amour. Okay, let me pause this. I'll be right back. Okay. And so, my friends, we are at the mustard. Is that mustard? It looks like French's mustard to me. French's mustard. We love a good mustard. I don't remember the commercial. There used to be a jingle with the mustard commercials back in the day. I wish I could have remembered. And look at that. It finished an entire stitch. I love that. Right to the end of the stitch. It's so good. It didn't finish the row, but that's okay. Look at how nice that ended that stitch. Are you kidding me right now? It's the one in red on my shirt. Are you kidding me right now? I say that a lot when I show yarn. It's just so good, you know? Now, I've had yarn that I've shown, and I just was not too happy with it. It was the scrubby yarn from Red Heart Scrubby. I'm not too keen on that. Just not a fan of it. And there are people, see, this is sliding a lot better. I like this. So maybe it was the gray. I don't know. In any case, as I was saying, what was I saying? I completely forgot. I lost my train of thought. It happens. I don't know. I literally just spoke it, and just that quickly, it disappeared. It's not in existence. I don't know what happened. French's mustard, the commercial. I lost my train of thought. Wow. I had a Dory moment. Is that the fish's name from Finding Nemo? The little fish from Finding Nemo. My brain just went completely clean. The slate has been wiped. I have no idea what I was saying. Wow. I have no idea. Oh my stars. Was it about this yellow? Was it about the mustard yellow? Nope, I can't remember. That's okay. I know I wasn't talking about knitting, but look at the stitch. You see how clean that is? There's no, in between half gray, half mustard. I love that for us. Love that for me, actually. Green. I love that for me. Anyway, I'm in such a great mood. My goodness. Is it the coffee? It can't be the coffee. I just woke up a little bit ago. And yeah. Maybe it is the coffee. I don't know. So good. Anyway. I hope that you guys are enjoying this WIPn IT with Juan session. Sometimes, like I said, it's whatever comes to my mind, you know? Sometimes it's yarn related. Well, mostly it's yarn related, but sometimes it's not. And when it's not, you know, I try to be as even keel as possible, you know? So, I'm only human, just like you guys. And yeah, so we just hang out, we have a good time, I enjoy these. If there's a topic that you would like me to talk about in a future WIPn IT with Juan session, feel free to sound off in the comments. Tell me the things, you know? Otherwise, I'm literally just going to continue talking about whatever it is that comes to my mind. And we're just going to hang out, and you can use me as someone to listen to while you work on what it is that you are working on. I love that for you, you know. And for me, I love that for me because I know that so many of you guys just like having someone to listen to. I don't know why I like this. I mean, am I not supposed to like that? I mean, I do like that. It's very nice. I like that for me. Ever since Becky got me this t-shirt, whenever I say the things, like, I crack up. I laugh. It's hilarious. It's all the things, you know? Anyway. My stars. I love it. Anyway, I am probably going to just showcase this corner to corner on WIPn IT with Juan sessions, well, until it's done, and then I'll put it in the podcast. But, yeah. So these WIPn IT with Juan sessions actually allow me to turn whips into finished objects, you know? Because when I'm not recording, I'm working on my knitting, I'm working on, you know, my designing and things like that. So, you know, these are the projects that I'm showcasing on the channel. And so if I have a WIPn IT with Juan session, I can actually get some work done, you know? I'm doing my hexagons, which is well underway. I love working with those vintage variegated yarns. It's so much fun. That could be another WIPn IT with Juan session, where I bring the vintage variegated yarns, I sit them here on the table, and I just crochet away, making hexagon after hexagon. Wow. I wonder how many this is. Like, if I made this into, like, a big blanket, I wonder how many this will require. Something's telling me I will need more than 7 if I wanted to make this into, like, a big blanket. This might be a throw, if I'm being honest. We'll see. I'm going to just keep trucking away. I'm going to keep hooking on the things and see where this takes us, you know? But, I was actually hoping to make some headway here. Let me get in there with that. There we go. I was hoping to make some headway with this particular skein, and I am. I'm very pleased with the fact that I am literally halfway through the second color. Well, not halfway. I started the second color. What am I talking about? Halfway. No one. Anywho, we're going to wrap this up in a minute or two. So, as I mentioned in the beginning of this video, friends, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and then turn those notifications on so you know when I come on. And by the way, friends, I forgot to tell you this. I have a new playlist on my channel. It's WIPn IT with Juan. So I put all the WIPn IT with Juan sessions all in one place for you guys to just go through and enjoy, hang out, crochet. So if this amount of time is not enough time for you and you want more of all of this yummy yarny goodness, then feel free to hop on over to the playlist and watch all the things. Have a good time and enjoy my company. So, there we have it. Look at that. Super, super nice. I love it. It's so good. Anyway, friends, I'm going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. I need the company just as much as you did. So, yes, with that, I'm going to leave you guys go. Thank you so much again for hanging out with me. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye.